Good evening, everyone. This is the Monday, July 22nd Design Review Commission meeting. It's our regular meeting, and I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6:30. Vice Chair Sela, will you lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. So now, Dominic, if you can do roll call, please.
Sure. Commissioner Tsang,
Present.
Commissioner Tu,
Present.
Chair Romo,
Present.
Vice Chair Salo,
Present.
Commissioner Lopez. Present. Thank you.
Tonight's meeting is live streamed on Cable Channel 3 and on our online platforms. To prevent any overlaps in comments, each commissioner will be called upon to speak. First item, public comment. This is the time set aside for members of the public to address the Design Review Commission on items of interest that are not on the agenda, but are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the commission. Pursuant to the Brown Act, the Design Commission cannot answer any questions or take any actions until such time as the matter may appear as an item on a future agenda. If you wish to address the Design Commission, please fill out a speaker card that is available on the back table. Once completed, kindly submit the card to the recording secretary. Speakers will be called upon to the podium one by one. Each speaker will be given up to 3 minutes to speak. Do we have any public comments?
Sorry, no public comment at this time, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Item number 2, consent calendar. All items under the consent calendar are considered routine, and recommendations will be approved in one motion unless a member of the Design Review Commission or public requests a separate discussion. So, Commissioner Tu, do you have any items to take off the consent agenda?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Commissioner Chang?
And no, I do not.
Commissioner Lopez?
I do not, thank you.
Vice Chair Salo?
No, I do not, thank you.
We only have one item on the consent. Okay, yeah. So that's the minutes. So with that, is there a motion to approve?
I so move.
Thank you. Second?
I second.
Great. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Tsang,
Yes.
Commissioner Tu,
Yes.
Chair Romo,
Yes.
Vice Chair Salo,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes.
5 ayes, motion passes.
Item number 3, public hearing. Let's see, you're going to read the next part?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the Commission. Thank you for participating and tuning into tonight's Design Review Board meeting. There are 3 public hearing items tonight, and copies of the agenda and the staff report are available on the city's website at www.sangabrielcity.com and also on the table that is by the entrance. If you wish to speak on an item this evening and are not the project applicant, please fill out a speaker card and submit the card to the recording secretary, which is Damien up here. Please write down the item number that you would like to speak on, and speakers will be called up one by one to the podium during the public hearing portion of each item. And again, each speaker will be given up to 3 minutes to speak. For each item tonight, staff will provide a summary of the staff report, followed by a presentation from the applicant, if there is a presentation, but they are available for questions. Then the public hearing will be open. After the public comments, the applicant is provided the opportunity to rebut if they choose. And prior to the close of the public hearing, the commission may ask questions of the applicant, staff, or the city architect. However, once the public hearing is closed, the opportunity for public comment will end. And with that, Madam Chair, staff is ready to present item A.
Great. Item A is 1008 Prospect Avenue, planning case number SPR 22-129, site plan review. Applicant is Wendy Che. You have a presentation for us.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, Commissioners. The item before you tonight is a request for the approval of a new one-story single-family residence with an attached two-car garage located at 1008 Prospect Avenue. The project site is located on the east side of Prospect Avenue between West Fairview Avenue to the north and West Chestnut Avenue to the south. The site is bordered by single-family uses in the R1 zone to the north, south, and west, with commercial office use in the C3 zone to the east. The project site is zoned R1, single-family residence, and has a general plan land use designation of low-density residential. The site is located within the San Gabriel Village area, which is a special planning district within the city. The proposed project complies with the R1 development standards in terms of lot coverage, floor area ratio, building height, setbacks, and parking. These are renderings for the proposed project. The project proposes a total of 2,074 square feet with a 455 square foot attached two-car garage at the rear. The project is designed in a contemporary architectural style. It's a simple and sleek design with a gabled entry with a hipped roof plan. Exterior materials include cement plaster and fiber cement siding along with vinyl windows. The proposed design has been reviewed by planning staff and the city architect for compliance with the zoning code and the city's design guidelines. The San Gabriel Municipal Code requires a comparison of one-story versus two-story homes within a 300-foot radius of the project site. There are a total of 19 properties within this radius, and there's only one two-story structure in the neighborhood, so the proposed one-story project is deemed compatible with the predominantly one-story streetscape. The general plan land use designation for the site is low-density residential, which allows for single-family residential use in the R1 zone, so the proposed project would meet housing goal 10.3 of the general plan. The project was reviewed for compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA. The proposed project is exempt per guideline 15303, which is a class 3 exemption for new construction. The public notice for the project was provided in several ways. One, it was mailed to all property owners and tenants within a 300-foot radius. The notice was posted at the project site, City Hall, the post office, and the public library, and it was also advertised in the San Gabriel Sun newspaper on July 11th, 2024. Staff recommends that the commission adopt a resolution approving planning case number SPR 22-129 at 1008 Prospect Avenue to allow the construction of a new one-story residence, subject to the recommended conditions of approval. That concludes staff's presentation, and I'm available for questions.
Thank you. We'll go down the list here. Commissioner Tsang, do you have any questions for staff?
No, I do not.
Commissioner Tu?
No, I don't have questions for staff. Thank you.
Commissioner Lopez?
Not at this moment, thank you.
Vice Chair Salo?
No questions for staff.
I do have one question. See, this property has two fronts, one on Prospect, which the address is on, and the other is on Circle Drive, which is the rear of the property. In the list of conditions for approval, number 55 calls for the planting of one tree. Parkway Landscaping says one tree to be planted on a public street. as per the city's master plan. So would that be the Prospect, or would that be Circle Drive?
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, which condition number is that?
Number 55, Parkway Landscaping.
That appears to be a condition from the Public Works Department. I believe that would be along Circle Drive, from my understanding.
Okay, all right. Because I was looking on their landscape plans, and it wasn't specific on that.
Right, it wasn't shown on the landscape plan, it was implemented as a condition of approval, so they'll need to show that on the plan checks that's
Okay,
needed.
all right. Thank you. And is the applicant here?
Yes, the applicant's here.
Hi.
Hi.
Will you please tell us about the project?
Okay, this project is, just like Christine said, is one-story residential on 1008 Prospect Avenue and then South Circle Drive. We go through all the design guidelines because this one is a special zone. So follow all the St. Gabriel Village, the style, and then because on the guideline indicate is one story we will recommend. Before that, we thinking about have a second story, but I saw on the surrounding all the residential is single story, so that's why we determine it is as a single story, and we keep the style as the mid-century range style to match all the surrounding the environment. And on the material selection, we mainly use the low profile one, use the gray color, and then on the window frame have a wood, have a dark brown wood as the frame, have a trim over there. Yeah. So on the driveway will be all the paving instead of the concrete. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to forward this
No problem.
to the commissioners.
Yeah.
Commissioner Tsang, do you have any questions?
Yes, I think overall it looks fine. I just want to try to understand a little bit more about your window selection and the roofing material.
Okay.
So the window, is it aluminum frame, wood window, or what type of vinyl window? What is it?
Use the vinyl window.
Vinyl window.
Use the wider window, yeah, because the depends on the cross, because the wood window is over our budget. Because before that we want to use the wood window, and also the wood window right now the per green code, and then something maybe is not a good selection. So we will use the vinyl, but indicate on the material board is white color, but we will use the black color instead.
So it's not white? It
Not
is
white, black color. Yeah.
Black color.
Yeah.
And the roofing material?
The roofing material will be concrete tile roofing. It's the low profile concrete tile roofing. Yeah,
Not the barrel type, but the flat type?
flat type. It's not Spanish. Yeah.
Yeah, check the weight of your concrete tile. There are some lightweight
Yes.
simulated tile that looks like concrete, but they're not.
Yes. Yeah.
So be careful with that. The concrete tile tend to be way too heavy, and it could cause some problem in the earthquake time. So
Yeah, because on the roof material we indicate is we use the Eagle lightweight one. So around 30 pounds per one piece. Yeah, I think it's not an issue right now. Yeah.
And one more last question. Your front door, you're using a pair door, one large leaf and a small leaf. That's
Yes, yes. Yeah, use and pair one. Yeah, because my client don't want to have an equal one. And also, because you see the gable roof is on the left-hand side. So I decided is the unpaired one is more match on the facade design.
Okay, I don't have a further question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Tu?
I just also have some clarification question about.
Use a black color, yeah. Yes.
It shows is white.
So it's, just for your information, your color board still says white.
Yeah.
So we have to make it clear, if you're gonna use black, we will make that one of the condition of approval if it got approved.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah, and also, the material board showing the exterior door, that is a charcoal color. But the image showing is like a oak wood color. So is that a typo?
Is the water color?
I'm sorry, I'm Wendy Chi, by the way. So basically, originally, we want to design with the black vinyl, but we wasn't sure, so we did it white. But we drive around the San Gabriel City, there's a lot of black windows, so we're proposing, we want to use a black vinyl, manufactured by Milgar.
Oh, yes, I know that. I was asking about the exterior door.
Exterior door. So the door that we indicate is the style of the door, but we just have to download the picture from the website, and it indicates the wood color, but we wanna stay into dark charcoal, dark espresso color. So, the style-wise, everything's very consistent. Consists of a, brown color, black window trims, and black window frame. Oh, I'm sorry, brown window frame and then brown doors. Everything will be in that consistent colors.
So it is a charcoal color door.
Charcoal, dark gray, charcoal color door, right? Yes.
And this one is showing like two doors, right? I mean.
Yes, one side light, one single.
Paired, yeah.
Yeah, pair. One small side light, one 36-inch single door.
Okay, so the elevation showing the right thing, but the material board is not.
The board, I think the color that you see, that's actually dragged from the computer. We did not change the color because that's something that we can find on the readily available on the
Right, right.
computer.
Besides of the color is the style of the door. There's no side light. So it's just it's a double door.
Unpaired. One is small, yeah, it's double door is
Yeah.
unpaired. Yeah.
Okay, this type of door, it looks like a skylight and a single door. Actually, the skylight could be removed or can be
Yeah,
open
it's
too.
unpaired.
So it's like the 18-inch skylight matched with the 36-inch door.
Okay, it is like a side light with a door instead
Yes.
of a double door.
Yes.
Unpaired, yeah.
Okay,
Unpaired door, yeah.
okay, so I think it's just some
Unpaired.
discrepancy on the drawing. And I also was a bit confused. So the decorative wood beam you show is a walnut color. And so this is the walnut color. Okay, yeah, that's fine. It's actually on the rendering, the fascia you show is like a light, or almost like an orange color, is the wood color. So,
It's the wood color, yeah, because we, during the process, we keep revise a couple times on the color one. But on the material board, the material selection is the watercolor, yeah.
so I don't see the color here.
Is it similar to the walnut color that you saw over there? Similar to the fuchsia color. Actually, the color came out a little bit orange, but we're proposing if we can just stay with the walnut color consistently, so there's not too many color tone in the front.
Okay, you mean that the color you select is closer to the material board,
Yes.
elevation on the material board, not
Yes.
the rendering we're looking at. So, but this one didn't have specification of what color is that?
This is walnut, so it's walnut stain. Even on the bottom, that material that we put it there is actually type of a vinyl, it's synthetic vinyl, because nowadays a lot of people doesn't want to use a solid wood because then it's a high maintenance issue. So we're hoping to use anything like composite, synthetic type of wood material by staying into walnut color throughout the exterior facade or fascia, or even the beams, we have to use a solid wood beam, but we have to stain to the walnut, so all the color can be consistent.
So you mean the beam is a solid wood, but this fascia is the composite color?
Yes.
That is showing here as the walnut color.
Yes,
So what is the beam color then?
it's gonna be matched that color. We can match
So it's the same, so you're looking at like same color for both of these elements?
Yes,
Okay. Because either in the rendering or the elevation, it shows like a contrasting color. So I didn't know there was like gonna to be matching.
well, just like Max said, we actually went through this 2 years with the city back and forth. Originally, we wanted more, a little bit contemporary line, but of course, the city doesn't allow because especially the special district that we're in. So we have to keep modifying, so the house, even though it's a brand-new house, but they don't want it to be too stand out against the neighborhood. So that's why we keep changing it, but ideally, we want to keep all the walls in the like light beige type of tone color, and then we want to just keep 2 colors in the front, period. We want to do the fuchsia board in the dark charcoal or the, walnut color, and then the front door, everything pretty much stay with that color tone, and then the window frame, we would like to propose using the black instead of white. So everything is, only the walls stay in the light color, everything, the outside trim in the walnut color. So that would be more consistent if it's,
Okay, so you're saying that would be the white wall
Yeah,
and
the
the
walls-
charcoal window and doors, and also have wood tone, like the decorative beam and the fascia would be
Okay.
the walnut color.
right, the doors, actually, the doors and windows, they're not charcoal, they're like it's a really dark bronze color. It's almost to black, it's called bronze color. That's what they call it, the window frame. They don't have such thing as a charcoal window frame. It's called bronze.
Okay, so the window is brown and the door is charcoal, as you states there.
Actually, the doors, we most likely, we will stain into darker color.
You're
almost-
matching them.
Yeah, to match them. So there's no, the only thing, again, I think the city required to have some kind of siding. They don't want to make it too contemporary. They want to make it into like a ranch style. We are allowed to do a ranch, mid-century ranch style. So I think there's some part of it we need to do a siding. The siding will be a little bit charcoal gray, but that will be on the bottom of the window. If you look at the rendering, am I
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's on the fiber cement is on the garage side.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, it's not made out with
It's on the
a fiber.
east and the southeast, so it's on the south circle joint, on
Is it gray?
on the east
Yeah,
side,
the
yeah.
dark gray color, that's the dark charcoal. That's the only dark charcoal gray on the siding,
Yeah,
It's also dark charcoal. It shows it's like a
like.
gray color.
Yeah, the gray is, yeah, dark gray, dark charcoal.
Okay, okay. And the garage door is this material that,
It's
it's
Is
the
a-
regular,
yeah, aluminum, but we want to do in black. So everything else pretty much the same color tone. No, it's actually made out of aluminum. That's the sample we got it from the garage
oh,
company.
it's aluminum.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is
Okay.
aluminum.
So I think it's just like it's discrepancies between the material board and the images that doesn't really like
Yes.
reconcile together. So, yeah, okay. I don't have further questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Lopez?
I'm good, thank you.
Vice Chair Salo?
Yeah, I think the house is well designed. This is an interesting property in that you basically have 2 front yards. You don't really have a backyard. So the fact that the rear elevation looks like it could be the front of the house as well, I think you took that into account as well. The renderings, the material board, and what you're proposing verbally, they don't match. But fortunately for you, it's easy to imagine what the house is going to look like that you're intending. So I'm okay to proceed on this, but I want as a condition of approval that all of the paperwork matches, so that we have a clear idea of what the house is going to look like. Those are my comments. Thank you.
Mention about the tree right now.
I do have some questions, and then we're going to let our city architect at Julia
Sure.
ask some questions and some comments. So there's a couple of things. The house right now, there's a proposed fence on Prospect. Driving the street, Prospect, the house just north of this property has a hedge, but no other house on the block has a fence at the sidewalk, either on the east side or on the west side. So I want to hear from you, because that changes the character of the street, because the houses have this openness. The house right adjacent to it has a hedge, but nothing, no other property has a fence. So tell me about the fence.
Because why we need to put the fencing? We put the fencing is the low profile, 3 feet high, the
3 feet
metal fencing, because the owner have a couple dog over there. So we need to maintain the owner or the dog within the property. So that's why we put the low fencing, and we coordinate with the landscape. So we use the landscape as the boundary at the front, and also at the back, and also at the east side. So,
Right.
yeah, that's why we put the low fencing over there.
So the backyard, it makes perfect sense to have that in the backyard because it is the rear of the property. And so I'm not questioning that. So the owners are going to be having, I'm assuming it's a small dog that's not going to jump very high that the owners have?
Yep. And also use the landscape as the boundary, so have a double boundary, have a low profile
Right.
fencing with the landscape. So on
Right.
the outside, you cannot see. Actually, you have a fencing over there, but you cannot see because I have a landscape already cover everything. So you see on the rendering, you see they have also on the landscape plan, they design, on the landscape design, they have all the low brush in the front, and then also the other layer is in front of the fencing as well. So we want to hire the fencing. So
So in other words, the fence could be in the front, or we can put it in the back
Yeah.
if the city allow. Because in this house, there's no such thing as a backyard, just you mentioned, because the back side is the garage.
Well, actually, I live in a house here in San Gabriel, and my neighbor across the street, I face the back of their property. And that's a property that has 2 fronts, similar to this property. And in the back, there's the gates, there's, wall, garage, gate, so their property from the rear, it's safe. And it's similar to this one where the driveway is from the back of their property, front of my property. I see them when they come and go each time that they enter, and all of their property in the back is secure. So that's one thing that I noticed, that the wall in the back is short versus,
yeah, yes, well, yes, 3 feet high along the driveway, and also the landscape architect recommend on the driveway on the side. Also, we put the landscape over there.
Right.
So they have a low wall on the left side of the driveway, and then also in front of the low wall have a landscape, have a green belt around that. So this is our approach on the garage side. But in the front, you see is all the landscape
right.
in the front, yeah.
Right, I noticed that. I'm not too sure for privacy issues if they want a larger, taller wall in the back, or put higher landscaping in the back. I think if that was my house or my neighbor, you can see directly into the house with the sliding doors, so that would be an issue for me as a resident. The thing that I think on this property, what makes it extra special in front is that there is a beautiful oak tree. And it is healthy and robust, and I'd like to see about having this oak tree remain and be as a condition of approval. We've talked about trees here on this commission for over a year, and trees are definitely important. So right now, plans do show it as being there, but I want to make sure that, at least for me, we'll hear how the other commissioners feel, but that oak tree is definitely preserved at this time, and have that as a condition of approval. Oaks can live hundreds and hundreds of years, so that tree should be there beyond our lifespan.
Okay.
That's one of another agenda that we want to bring up. We want to save the oak tree. However, the oak tree is very close to this house. And then right now, we have an arbitrage report. I don't know if you have a copy of it. So what happened was that corner where the oak tree is, the sidewalk is all worked already. It's become kind of a hazard for people to walk in. But not only that, because right now with the new building code, we are not allowed to build, raised foundation. So if we have a raised foundation, at least the tree roots can go underneath the foundation, you're still able to expand. But right now with this slack concrete, the house is so close to the tree, and all the main sewer pipe have to come up from the street to the house. So in no time, this gonna, for this brand new home, we don't know how to prevent it. The arborist said you can do something, but it's not guaranteed. So yes, we want to preserve the tree, but how do we preserve the house? How do we protect the house with all this underground plumbing, especially the sewer line? Maybe right now you don't see any problem, but 5 years down the road, we don't know what's gonna happen.
So the tree, as you see the canopy, the root system is kind of the reverse. So that tree has been there a very long time. That's why the canopy is very tall. So the new roots are going to go deeper into the soil. The older roots, they would do some lifting. And usually you can trim some of the root, a percentage of the root without damaging the tree. So I think from the staff report, it says that the house can be built without, and leave the tree there. So that's something that that's written in the staff report. So are you saying that you disagree with what's written
No,
in the
I'm
staff
not
report?
Because we've done many houses around the San Gabriel and San Marino houses, and then even with with the raised foundation, you see tons of roots underneath, and then the roots is beneficial to the house, but sometimes it is most of the time, believe it or not, is a hazardous to the piping system. So we encountered like the roots leaving the pipe, and then that create problems. So again, this is a very old mature tree. We don't want to damage the tree. However, because initially we proposed to do a raised foundation, we thought it was allowed because around the neighborhood, everybody's the older model homes, they have a raised foundation. But we were told it's not allowed anymore. So without another option to do a raised foundation, we have to do a slab. Slab concrete, that's a new building code. So it's one of the dilemma. Yes, we want to build a house, and then the lot itself is not that big. where the tree to the edge of the house is only like, 10, 15 feet. And then it really depends, how do we prevent the root going underneath the house? And then the sewer line is coming from the main street to go inside the house. You have to go through the root system. So in this case, in the future, we don't know what's gonna happen to the sewer line. Do we talk about this after there's a problem occur? And then when that problem occur, the house is already built, we don't even know how to solve this kind of problem without, knocking down the whole slab concrete and then repipe the, sewer line. Maybe that happened 5 years, 10 years, we don't know. That's one of the biggest concerns the owner have, so.
I want to clarify something. An oak tree is not a ficus tree. The Indian laurel fig ficus tree, which a lot of cities plant it everywhere, that is a jungle tree with extremely invasive roots. Oak trees, you can drive San Marino, Pasadena. Oak trees are the sidewalk trees. They're along the sidewalk in the parkway, they're there, and it's not lifting the sidewalk as a ficus tree, as a sycamore tree, as some of the magnolia trees. So I think that when you talk about this oak tree, you have to be extremely realistic. And then I do have a question regarding one of the trees that you have listed here on L 3.0. So it's the tree for in front, the Raywood ash. That tree can grow up to 50 feet tall with a 30-foot canopy, and it grows about 2 feet a year. So when you look at that area, it's a small area in front of the house. And I'm questioning the type of tree, where your western rosebud tree in the back, that is a much smaller tree, and it has color to it. So when you're talking about trees and having them grow and disrupt things, here you have a very small pad for this tree that's going to have a canopy of 30 feet. So you're creating something. You're not having enough room for that tree to grow. So I'm also going to ask that you reconsider that type of tree. So those are my basic concerns, and then we'll discuss amongst ourselves. And before we do that, I will ask Julia, our city architect, to add some comments and questions.
Sure. Hi, good evening. Just 2 questions for you. So the siding that you're showing on the front elevation, does it go all the way up to the gable, or does it stop under the window?
In the front?
Yes.
In the front is the stucco. You can see on the rendering, on the elevation. On the elevation is, okay. In the front, on the porch one, is up to the roof.
Underneath? Okay,
Yeah,
great.
all the way to the roof.
Okay. And then as far as the fence goes, I know there was concern about having a fence because the rest of the neighborhood doesn't have any fences, and I agree, I drove around there. However, the fence that you are proposing on Circle, that's wrought iron, right? So it's not as heavy as a CMU block wall,
No.
so there is some see-through?
Yeah.
Okay,
No vinyl fence, no CMU.
okay,
Yeah, because we saw your comment over there. And then we know that before because the owner is prefer CMU. Because if only CMU wall freestand, I don't want it. Because I want to have a planter as a CMU wall. But on the St. Gabriel Village, because all the style, so we changed the proposal and changed the low profile, the wrought iron fencing.
so at least there's some visual penetration, it
Yeah.
looks lighter.
Yeah.
if I may continue on the same area on this siding, you're proposing using James Hardy siding. What is the width of the vertical siding that you're planning on using?
6 to 8 inches.
6 to 8?
Yeah, vertical fiber cement siding.
And are you planning on using on the corner treatment? How do you plan on doing that? Are you following the James Harding detail, or
Yeah,
you mithering it, or how would that look?
yeah, they have a corner condition. They have a special trim for install the fiber cement. So we will use the manufacturer, the corner trim to terminate all the different direction on the fiber cement. They have a two profile. One is the recessed one is the
Exterior
corner one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one is not designed yet on the construction one, but I will prefer use the recessed one. Yeah.
I just want to make sure that you understand that when you apply the siding to your new windows, how the detail being treated, because most of their, if you talk about 6 to 8 inch siding, which is quite wide, they have a window trim that it should work better with the rest of the home where the stucco goes. So you want to make sure that that siding for the window will work with the stucco siding for the window trim, because otherwise it will look kind of
Can we
awkward.
get by without the siding though? But we were told we have to put some kind of siding. Are we, can we get by without the siding?
Without a siding for the window trim?
No, as a first side, is that one of the requirement for the, actually, just like I said, we modify it numerous times. We're just keep changing it to where the city accepts, this is like new house, but then yet, incorporate into the whole neighborhood. So that's why we, at the point, originally, we did not design any siding, but we're, like design, keep, following the guideline. So at this point, when you ask that kind of question, do I have a choice not to do the siding? Would that be easier? Because originally, we did not design anything with the siding.
If you start taking all these design elements out, then chances are your home will not get approved.
Right, okay.
I mean, I want you to understand why you're here, why we are here. The body was created to protect the city's aesthetic value.
Okay.
And that's why you work with the design guideline. That's why you have to respect the neighborhood.
Right.
That's why some of these materials are in fact developed so that the entire neighborhood are in harmony. They compatible. And it's not that you ask us, well, we allow that, I want to take everything out. Then if you don't respect your own design, it will not get approved.
Okay.
Some of the conversation I heard earlier is that you said, well, you only got 20 feet in the front yard. And, adding that fence and adding about your walkway, your softscape, and then another planter, and then a fence, and another planter within 20 feet. I don't think it's going to look that pretty anyway. So you need to talk to your landscape architect and try to come up with the most aesthetic pleasing front yard that you need to have. Your complaint about sewer line and the tree roots, those are all workable. If your arborist tells you to protect the tree, there's a way to protect it. You fence around it during construction, you know where the root goes, and then your sewer man will run the sewer and your plumber will run it to a connection point where there's no true root. So you not necessary that you will have problem. This is a brand new home, so you have every right to do it correctly. And I really honestly think that as a responsible citizen, when you develop a home, this home is going to be there for close to 80 to 100 years. So let's make sure we do it right.
Okay.
Let's make sure it come out correctly.
Yep.
And then your client or yourself will be proud that it's developed correctly. So So I want to make sure that all these details are worked out. And the city architect spent a lot of time working with you for all this time before it appeared in front of us, because they want to make sure it's approvable. If you start taking things out now, then it will not become approvable. Then you're back to drawing board square one again. So it's not going to help.
No, we're not trying to, we came a long way, please, we want to follow
So
your
let's
guidelines.
respect what's being said, and let's
Yes.
just make sure that
Yes.
all the conditions are recorded, and make sure you watch your construction people, make sure they don't damage the root system, make sure the tree can remain, and the project will come out right.
Okay,
All the discrepancy that we talked about here, the color is not there, will be cited later, that will be recorded. So when planning department go out to do the planning sign off, they'll be able to follow what is being approved to the site so that it's approvable. Otherwise, you bought the wrong window white and then install it, and then we approve it black. We got a big problem. You're gonna return all the window again, redo it again, so it's not good. All right? So I just want you to understand that.
Yeah, understood.
All right.
And also, talking about the archery one, we will reserve it, but right now the condition is on the public sidewalk. All the concrete already lift up, already cracked. So in this issue, because have a for the safety issue for the public sidewalk, for the concrete, I think we will coordinate with the public work to see.
You
what-
need to work with Public Works, and
Yeah, because
when
all
you finish your home,
Yeah.
they will come out and try to find out what it takes to either repair or replace part of the sidewalk.
Yeah, we
that are
don't know,
cracked.
because because we go to the site, we talk with the labor, and the labor on the, in between the property line, on the south property line, the labor is, all the planter is already lift up, already damaged, all the paving, everything. So, so that's why, we're thinking about this, maybe has an issue
Sure.
right now.
Most likely, before you start construction, you need to work with your neighbors on both sides.
Yeah.
And make sure that it's understood how you're going to improve your property.
Yes.
So you don't create problems
Yeah, to
for
see
about
how to
9
solve the
months. So-
problem, because I know the archery, this canopy is over 30 feet. It take a long time, just like you said. It's, for me, I will reserve, sure, I want to reserve it, but right now it's damaged, the public work, so that's why she's talking about to take it down, is because for the safety issue, the main problem, yeah. So we will coordinate with public work to see what happened on the sidewalk, to how to fix it during the construction, yeah.
Thank you, Chair. That's all I have.
No. All good comments. I think it's important that we have this dialogue so we fully understand your project. And Julian, you have another
I
comment?
would just say one other thing, and a detail we see a lot of times happen when we have siding and it gets to the corner detail and they have to corner cap it with that little piece when it rounds the corner to keep it in that kind of more modern style like you guys are going for, making sure that that corner piece detail is the same color as the siding. A lot of times we see, they'll come in and painters will paint it white and it starts to
No.
frame
No,
and it's,
this is
yeah,
not-
let's
it's not
keep it,
acceptable.
let's keep it the same
Yeah.
color as the actual
yeah.
siding itself.
Yeah, we created the same, on the siding, the corner one, we use the, they have a different profile, but we chose the match color for the fiber cement.
Great.
Yeah.
I have one more question, also regarding the siding. I mean, you mentioned that you were asked to put on the siding, right? And notice that on your drawing, it shows like a regular wood siding, but this is like a cement board with like 6 or 8 inches width, and it doesn't really match the look on all your drawings.
What do you mean of the, because they have, this one is vertical siding, so,
6 to
6
8
to 8
inches.
inches, yeah.
That wide?
That one, yes.
I think Hardy comes with different width that you
Yes.
can use.
Yes.
They got some narrow one, like maybe 4.5 inch, and then they got some 6. The biggest one they have is 11-inch, but
Yeah.
those are being used horizontally.
It's TNG, yeah.
Right, but
Vertical usually don't get that big, so, but your elevation shows more like a maybe 4 to 6 max.
yeah, the elevation shows like a 4-inch type of a siding, and that's why I having hard time to put everything together because the discrepancy
Is what?
between the drawings and also the material board.
On the drawing, I think I put is 6 inches.
Did you call out 6 inches on your elevation?
Not yet,
You did not.
because right now it's under the planning commission. So
Okay.
during the construction document, I will indicate all the material as well. This one is the TNG one, so they lock together. So it's flat, this vertical siding.
Yeah, 6 inch will work, but no bigger than 6. If we make it bigger than 6, it will look completely different.
Yeah, we don't use the 11 inches, it's too wide because the house is not
Doesn't
too
look right.
big.
No, he doesn't even want it.
Yeah,
Not for a home this size.
yeah, it's for, yeah, it's not for residential, yeah.
So you also mentioned that the front door will be changed to the charcoal color because you were asked to do it, or you wanted to change to
Well,
charcoal?
we want to change to, it's called dark browns. The charcoal is more gray tone, we want to do more like a brown tone because to match with the walnut color.
Okay, so I guess you have to standardize all your wording, because
Yeah, we
it's
will.
everything, like
Yep.
the charcoal there, and
Right.
I don't see any brown wording there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It is now 7:21, and it's time for public comment. Do we have any comments from the general public at this time?
No public comment at this time, Madam Chair.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is now 7:22, and the time for public comment on this item is now closed. It is our turn as a commission to discuss and deliberate this item, so I will begin with Commissioner Tu.
I think the design, when I look at the rendering and the elevation, I feel like the design has some sort of character, and it's really different from the design we've seen before. It just happened to be like a lot of materials is mixed up, and also it's a shame that like the wood door and some of the wood element, the color been eliminated, and the fascia and the decorative beam will be the same color so that you don't have that contrast anymore. So, I mean, I feel like the final submission is not a true representation of what I've seen on the screen from the rendering and the color elevation. I mean, it's difficult for me to visualize the actual design.
Thank you. Commissioner Tsang?
Thank you, Chair. I echoed the same comment. I have no problem approving the project as presented, with the exception that all this color will have to work out. The size of the siding has to work out, meaning that the color board may have to come back once we identify what needs to be verified, because I see charcoal, I see walnut, I see different material. I actually have some concern about that fascia board calling to be a decorative wood beam, whatever that means. I was told it's a composite material, but that fascia board is actually part of the structural roof. And unless you apply something over and above it, I don't understand what that is. I think the condition for the approval would be have all these identified items worked out by the designer and bring back to the, if we all feel comfortable that the city architect can handle that, great. If not, they can come back and share that with us once before the plan check is submitted for plan checking. The front door, It's a large 3.0 and a 1/18 inch. It appears to be a solid door, but the rendering shows a two same size pair door with some kind of lighting in the center. If we don't identify those, the rendering drawing and the sample conflict with each other on both the design and the color. So we don't, I don't think the planning department understand what's approved unless it's identified. So I think what we need to do is to have those items identified and have them submitted to the city architect to complete this application. But as to the size, the design, I don't have any issue approving it. So it's up to the rest of the commissioners whether they want to move forward with it, with those identified issues remaining, or do we want to continue to let them come back with all those items worked out? So I would like to hear what the rest of the commissioners' feeling is.
And I think there might be some other items added. At least I had a few, so.
Thank you.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. I think we've gone through some of these before, unrelated to this one project, as to the rendering being different or the plans being different from what is actually the plan or the planning. And I've voiced my concerns about that. Oftentimes, we've approved the projects, and when we kind of hand it over to the city architect to kind of do this and that, I have difficulty continuing to do that because we're here to make a decision on what the plan is or what the proposed vision is of the construction, and we end up with conceptual things, conceptual renderings of each, and where the concepts differ between each commissioner and the architect and the client. So there is no true consensus as to what actually is supposed to be. Setting that aside for a second, I also have concerns about the tree. My understanding from again, we go back to the tree was to remain in place, and we've discussed it, at least for this commission, this term of the commission. And it's a very important thing to preserve the trees, especially trees that are really old and give our neighborhoods the character that they currently have. So I'm concerned that, and I would, whichever way the commission goes, whether we overload our architect to go with all these things and to match up. Problem that I have with that is that we don't end up seeing what the end product is. So we conceptually approved something, but not necessarily what we thought we approved turns out to be. So I have concerns with that. But more concern is, to me, is about the tree. The tree's got to be preserved, I believe. There's been some talk about redoing the front yard, or I don't know if it's even feasible moving the property, pushing it down the side, or I don't know. But those are my thoughts.
Thank you. Vice Chair Sela?
Yeah, so I like the design of the house, but the inconsistency in the drawings is an issue. I understand you've gone through rounds and rounds of changes, and it sounds like over a couple of years, but we're now at the point where we're trying to set this in stone, and we want to believe that what you're proposing is what you plan to build. So as far as I can tell, the design of the house is fine. The changes to the materials, if we can get that consistent, I'm fine proceeding as a condition of approval. As far as I can tell from these drawings, your intention is to keep the tree And, regardless of what was verbalized here at the hearing today, so if that's the intent is to preserve the tree, then get the recommendations from your arborist for best practices and follow through with it sincerely. So
Yeah, because we already have our arborist report, we get it today. Yeah, let's consider how to
yeah. I mean,
serve and how to fix it.
there's a process for doing it, and we just
Yeah.
want to be sure that what you're presenting, what you're putting on paper, is what you're gonna follow through with.
We will.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so I'm fine. I'm fine moving forward with that.
I'm torn with this project. I think generally, it looks fine, but when you look at the details of it, there are inconsistencies and there's problems with the material. If we were to say, okay, you work with our city architect, finalize this, like Commissioner Lopez said, we won't know. We heard from you that working with the city architect for the last 2 years, that this is the best you've been able to do. So to me, I'm thinking, if we turn it over to the architect to fix, it's not going to be fixed because you have been working with the architect for 2 years. And this is what you're bringing for your proposal. And is it the architect's responsibility to make sure the colors all match, make sure the materials are right? They give guidance. And I'm going to turn to Julia. Julia's not our normal, she's our substitute today. But this is something that one commissioner has brought up. The applicant said that this was the best they could do after working 2 years with the city architect. Is there confidence that the city architect team can fix everything? Or is it best just coming back at this time?
So, I mean, so our typical city architect hasn't seen that board, right? They've seen this paper submittal, which appears to be a bit more consistent, minus the vinyl windows here say white rather than black. So it probably wasn't, that kind of seemed like it came late in the game. However, I would say, and in all honesty, as someone who does design review, lots and lots and lots of plans, if your comfort level as the commission, because that is your job, is to see this again and wanting to see the final product, and it's not so much about, sending it back to the city architect and whether or not he can do it, because he absolutely can, but I think it's more of your comfort level in approving something and knowing what you're approving versus being a little confused at how the exterior might end up. So I'm not one for continuances, no one likes those. But, if it is a matter of getting this into a consistent form, because this is what we all see at the end of the day when we drive by this home, and it is going to be very visible, and it does have the front and back, and it really is quite it is very nice looking. It is. It's got some very great design features, and it's this progressive, but has definitely some style to it, that I do think that the details are vital. So I think that for your own comfort level, just as Commissioner Lopez has stated, that maybe it should come back and to see what that final product is.
Thank you. I'd like to, Raymond, you have one more?
If I may, just add one more to it. I appreciate your comment about the rendering looks nice, but if you really look at what's being presented tonight as to the actual material color, the windows are not black frame, as you can see right there that we see in front of us. The window trim pieces we got conflict with charcoal, walnut, and dark brown. We really don't know what that
Yeah,
means.
I think it's definitely has caused some confusion because there is so many different images and renderings and colors and changes. So I do think it's best.
With the black vinyl window.
Square it up.
And we also have the smooth hardy board that maybe it doesn't reflect 6 inches. And are they planning on painting it after it's installed? And if they're gonna paint it, they should have the paint color. And the rendering, the final rendering should really reflect what is being finally picked and designed. And then that we can tell that, okay, this is what we're gonna get at the end of the day. Right now, a lot of things is conflicting. And as Commissioner Tu said, well, it looks kind of interesting because when you see maybe a lighter piece of facial board, it gives some character. However, once all of that become dark brown, and if it doesn't work with the charcoal color or the dark brown color, or it looks like it's all just brown and that white La Habra plaster, it may, the whole character change. You know, with the door also, if it's just a solid door, 3.0 and 18 inches, you may just look at it and you don't see any definition between the siding, the door, and the window frame, and the window, vinyl window. It may take everything away. So I think it's only fair for the neighbors to understand what we're getting at the end.
At this time, does anyone else feel that we should continue? You said, Commissioner.
I move that we continue on and for a future date, hopefully not too far, so we can get accurate renderings with what is actually going to be, the proposal is, not only in colors, but in structures and things and how those would impact. The client or the proposed builder has already on record a lot of the suggestions and issues that we currently have voiced. So I think from that starting point, if they continue to work with our city architect just to provide some further guidance and then come back and give us an accurate rendering. So, you know, when we walk down the neighborhood, the neighbor says, hey, you guys, you're doing a good job. It kind of looks like what was presented online. Yeah, so that's I move towards that.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it if Commissioner do not mind to have them look at that landscape portion also. Why are they coming back anyway?
Oh, absolutely.
The arborist report recommendation on protecting the existing root system. I would also recommend you to talk to your plumber and try to work out that sewer line connection location, see how that conflict with your connection in the future. And again, look at the landscaping. What would be your best landscape plan to make the house look compatible with everybody else in the neighborhood, together with your final selection of color and material. I think that will, that one extra 1 month that you come back will help this house for 50 years. So I think you really owe it to yourself not spend that effort. Because you're going to have to do it one day anyway.
Yep.
Now is the right time to do it.
Madam Chair, before you call for the vote, if staff can ask for 2 points of clarification. So first being, I think what may eventually come back would be a representation that shows a bronze fascia, probably dark brown beams, and a bronze door, and so you have a lot of bronze. And there was discussion this evening about the contrasting colors. Is there guidance to be provided where there's accent that's maintained, or essentially it's just going to be represented as a brown bronze scheme colored presentation?
If I may try to answer at least this first question. That's another reason why I do not want to tell the applicant what is approval, what's not approval, what's right, what's wrong. There's no right or wrong in design anyway. The rendering to the bottom right, you can see actually the change of color between the fascia board and the beam shows some very good character. And including the front door with a different color also shows some character. If we pick dark brown, bronze, walnut, whatever they want to call it, one solid color, it may not be what we want to see. I think really it's the job of the designer, working with the architect's recommendation. The reason why this thing looks pretty good, I'm sure Vice Chair State will feel that, is because it shows some nice character. And it works with the design, works with the overall proportion and everything else. Standing in the podium and said, well, I'm just going to change everything one color, or do you want me to take this out? It does not work. It takes a lot of careful time to do the rendering and pick the right material, the right manufacture of the painting and the color so that they work. They finally work together. And I think that's the whole reason why they need to go back. And I hope that answers some of your concerns.
It does, but staff only communicated the bronze because that was the comment made by the applicant. So if they're to proceed with representing what they want for consistency, so it's two items. One is consistency between the elevation, the material board, and the rendering. But two is there's how it's rendered and then how it's labeled and then what's being presented on the material board. So staff would just want it to be clear enough for the applicant that essentially what the commission is saying is the design and what's going to be presented to the commission is up to the architect and the designer. But just based on, this is staff just communicating what we've heard this evening, that there's a preference to have the door as dark bronze. So I just wanted to follow up on that item to make sure that what is correctly represented when they come back is the direction of the commission.
I think that there's a couple of things here. Maybe this project might not be ready in a month.
Oh, that was the second item. So it
Yeah,
can be continued, yes.
Because basically, they need to present their best design with the colors that they want. It needs to be previewed by the city architect before it comes back to this commission. So that's not going to take a matter of weeks for you to finalize everything and give it to staff 2 weeks before our next meeting in August. So it's a time crunch to make all of those things happen. You know, this is your opportunity to show us what your design is for us to see. And I think Commissioner Tsang is correct. You know, once you put pen to paper, you know, color on a computer screen, it changes. Once you look at your material board, all of those things change. And if you change one thing, it might not reflect. So you have to present what you want, knowing that we want something that's going to be nice. It's a modest home. It doesn't have to be gilded, and we're not asking you to gild the house, but we are asking to know what you're planning. And you know, we have 3 different schemes right here. We have the board, we have that image, and we have this image, and they're all different. And it's hard for us as a body to say, okay, we want this one, because that's not what you're proposing. You're proposing this. And I think if we didn't have these inconsistencies, it would be really easy. And I think Commissioner Lopez is absolutely right on this one. Yeah, we do need to figure things out because it's not clear. It really isn't clear. And I think,
We're really sorry about tonight's confusion, because the reason, actually, I'm representing with the owner. Max is architect / designer, because this project, as I mentioned, we went through 2 years of a planning, a lot of communication with the city architect, and then Christine helped us tremendously. So today, believe it or not, so just like I said, I was surprised too, because when they did the design board, I remember we have to use a black window. How did they change to white window? We don't know. I don't know, because we just, we're the first one. So I don't know, it was required by the city, or this is have to be done. So tonight, yes, we're not, we thought we were prepared. Of course, this is kind of confusion, because I know owner give me a couple of the guidelines that she wish to keep the design. But yet, this is a little bit different than what her wish list in the beginning, because we went through numerous changes. So just like she said, if you give us a guideline, we would like to get back next month, because this house she's building for her 80-year-old mom. So this, at this point, 2 years went by, this house is not even built. We are still in the public hearing. So at this point, I think we have a pretty clear understanding, after today's meeting. So we're gonna put our, the design element, everything, the rendering picture, the design board, everything will be consistent. So next time when we come back, we will be prepared. And then there's no confusion, because just like I said, the chocolate was one of the color, but I don't know, it was allowed, not allowed. So this tonight looks like it's kind of confusion. That's because I seen it for the first time myself because we were like so busy with the other projects. So the window have to stay with the black, just like it's rendering. So it's not according to the design board. So after tonight's meeting, we have a pretty clear understanding what we need to do. And the next time when we come back, we will give you everything will be consistent.
and what you've heard, visualize it, put it
Yes.
on paper or computer. Everything's
Yes.
done by computer now.
Yes.
No one's drawing things out. So put it on your screen. Does it work well? If it doesn't, modify it. Make it work well, so you guys are really happy with your work. And then the city architect is going to review it. And then it'll come back here.
Yes.
I don't want to say 1 month. If it's done in 1 month, fine. But if it's not done in 1 month, and we say here tonight, 1 month, then we have to continue it again.
No, we just need a very clear guideline. All this time, we're really, we're always following the city guideline, but
So if you,
sometimes we're confused
so the
too.
city guidelines told you to misrepresent what you're presenting?
No,
So,
but,
so that's the biggest issue here.
Okay.
That we have different colors, different palettes, different images.
Yes.
And we don't know.
we
So,
are very done.
so if you can go back,
Yes,
put your best effort as a designer, put your best effort in it.
We will.
Represent to the client that this is what you feel best as a designer. We're not asking you to modify the actual structure.
No,
We're asking you about the colors, we're asking you about landscaping, we're asking you about a tree. These are things that should be easy to be handled.
right.
The timeline will be up to you, but we're going to make this to continue to an unspecific date, because if it's taken 2 years and this is your best effort, we want the next time that you come here that you are successful. And to put an artificial timeline on that is too much pressure for the staff, for you, and the city architect.
sure.
And our time here, okay?
We don't want to waste anybody's.
I think the main point is consistent all the material,
Yes.
all the color. I think is the main point, because all the design already, all the facade design, everything is good. I think only is the contrast of the material selection. Not everything is dark brown, have a contrast. You see a water door, you see the water brim with the white stucco, fiber cement. So
And I think there's also the actual material
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So
The sample.
this fascia board, is that correct?
I'm sorry, the fascia board is my confusion. The fascia board and then the beam have to be
Sorry.
solid wood. That material is gonna use under the,
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
is it
I think it's important that you, we're not going to tell you how to design your building. I think you really need to talk to the people who's going to be building it and together with your architect and work all those out. Because if they're not consistent on material, size, color, it will not work at the end.
Yep, understood.
I don't want to repeat what was already said.
Yeah.
I think you understand
Yeah.
what the inconsistency is.
Yeah.
And make it almost impossible for us to second guess what you want.
Yeah, I got your
And
point.
it's not fair to the planning staff.
Yep.
So I think there is enough discussion on the second, our second emotion, if the,
Yes, and staff would ask for clarification on the motion and the second, the timing of the continuance.
that would be date uncertain, wouldn't it?
Yeah, there's the continuance, the timing of the continuance is open-ended. If the client can somehow come back next month, then
That's fine, yeah.
it's up to.
Date uncertain.
So there's no time set in order to give them the best opportunity to be successful.
So it's up to you. You can do it sooner or you can take your time. But I think if you, you want to get this thing quickly, get with the city architect quickly, work everything out, and I think we may be able to see it next month.
Yeah, we will.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we do need a roll call on the motion.
Commissioner Chang,
Yes.
Commissioner Tu,
Yes.
Chair Romo,
Yes.
Vice Chair Say Lo,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez. Yes. Okay, motion passes, 5 ayes. Continued, excuse me.
Dates uncertain.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair Romo and members of the Design Review Commission. The public hearing item before you tonight is for a site plan review to allow for the construction of a new two-story single-family home located at, 1105, sorry, excuse the error on the PowerPoint, 1105 Walnut Street, planning case number SPR 23-012. The property measures 7,557 square feet and is currently developed with a 1,494 square foot, single-family, single-story home. The property is located on the west side of Walnut Street between East Central Avenue to the north and East Chestnut Avenue to the south. The property is zoned R1 for single-family residences and has single-family homes directly to the north, south, west, and east. The project before you tonight is for a new two-story single-family home and a 658 square foot detached garage and workshop area. The single-family home will measure a total of 2,617 square feet with an 1,805 square foot ground floor and 812 square foot second floor. The proposed home is consistent with the development standards set forth in the municipal code for the R1 zone, including building height, second-story setbacks, lot coverage, and floor area ratio. The architectural design of the home was reviewed by city staff and the city architect for consistency with the design guidelines for single-family residences. The proposed home is designed in a contemporary style and will be clad in a variety of materials, including white Omega stucco in a smooth finish, horizontal James Hardy siding in a pearl gray color, and an El Dorado stone veneer. The project proposes to install new landscaping on the project site. The front yard will include a new lawn and a new garden featuring a variety of shrubs, including coast rosemary, bay laurel, coral aloe, and Munstead lavender, and a new citrus tree and loquat tree. The front yard driveway will be composed of permeable pavers lined by a 12-inch concrete band. The area in the rear yard between the home and the detached garage will also feature a new garden with gardenia, sage, and 4 15-gallon fern pine trees. The rear yard will also include an open patio area with an outdoor barbecue, a lawn, and a row of 5-gallon bay laurel shrubs and additional citrus tree to replace an existing avocado tree. Section 153.353 of the San Gabriel Municipal Code requires the submittal of a neighborhood analysis of homes within a 300-foot radius around the project site. The analysis shall identify 1- and 2-story homes in the neighborhood. The neighborhood analysis identifies 12 properties with two-story single-family residences within a 300-foot radius. The project was also reviewed for consistency with the general plan. The general plan land use designation for the subject property is low-density residential. The general plan defines this designation as primarily single-family homes on a single parcel. The proposed project is for the construction of a new for a new 2-story home and is consistent with the general plan land use designation. The project also meets Community Design Goal 10.3 to create designs that live and breathe with the City of San Gabriel's neighborhoods as they themselves live and breathe. The project was reviewed for compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act and was determined to be exempt from guidelines, Section 15303, Class 3 for new construction. On July 11th, 2024, a notice regarding the project was sent to properties within a 300-foot radius of the project site. A notice was also posted on the project site, and tonight's meeting agenda was posted at the City Hall, the Post Office, and the Public Library, as well as being advertised in the July 11th, 2024 edition of the San Gabriel Sun. With that, staff recommends that the Design Review Commission adopt a resolution of the Design Review Commission approving planning case number SPR 23-012 for a new 2-story single-family residence at 1105 Walnut Street, subject to the recommended conditions of approval. That concludes my presentation.
Great, thank you very much, Marlon. At this time, we will offer the commissioners a chance for clarifying comments. Commissioner Tu?
I don't have question for staff. Thank you.
Commissioner Tsang?
No, I do not.
Commissioner Lopez?
No questions, thank you.
Vice Chair Sela?
No questions for staff, thank you.
I don't have any questions either. Thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
applicants here?
He is here, yes.
Welcome.
Hi, good evening, members of the Design Review Board. My name is Eric Tsang. I'm the architect and also representing the owner for tonight's project. So the proposed project is a 2,617 square feet, 2-story house in a transitional modern style, custom house that is designed for the owner themselves. The house consists of only 3 bedrooms, and the master bedroom is on the first floor, second floor with 2 smaller bedrooms. I would like to make one correction on the material board. For the exterior siding, the horizontal siding, the color should be to match the vertical wood slate color as shown on the rendering. Other than that, all the materials are consistent with the rendering. As for landscaping, we are proposing 3 new trees on the property and 1 new tree on the public right-of-way as a condition from public work, and the species proposed to be a holly oak tree. The size of the trees are all 24-inch box. And I think that's all I have. I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and go around. Commissioner Tu?
Yes, I do have a question regarding the material of the glass handrail. I mean, from the detail I can see, it looks more like a commercial application. I was wondering what is the design philosophy behind that?
We wanted to have a frameless glass railing, so the choice of the glass railing is to have the clamp on the bottom, which holds the glass panel, so it doesn't have the vertical columns or the posts in between the glass panels.
So what material is the clamp?
It's aluminum.
Aluminum, is that
It's
painted aluminum? or-
Metal, it's metal. So it, let me see. It's metal.
Okay, would that be painted to match the color of the window frame, or
Yes.
it's just like,
Black, to match the window frame color to be black.
okay, just want to make sure, because if it's like actually the stainless steel color would look odd with this house.
I agree.
No, I don't have other questions. I think the design is really well presented, and everything's, I mean, except for one thing is not consistent, is the wood slag. That, but the applicant already clarified that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Commissioner Tsang?
Along the same line, what is the size of the horizontal siding? the
So
hardwood?
the horizontal siding is called out to be a V-groove by James Hardy, and it only comes with one size, is 8.25 inch.
So it's 8.25.
Yes,
From one, that's the width of the.
each row, yeah.
Each piece.
Yeah, each piece. Okay. And the width of each one is 12 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They match it correctly to make it right. Yeah, okay, 8.25. That's fine. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
That's all I have. I just want to make sure it's identified correctly.
Thank you. Commissioner? Commissioner Lopez?
No questions, thank you.
Vice Chair Salo?
Yeah, it's a very nice design. I think of all the two-story houses in the 300-foot radius, I think this one is probably my favorite. I do have a question. The exterior siding you said is 8.5, the hardy plank,
Yes.
and then you also have another horizontal material, this horizontal wood slat.
Oh, it's actually a vertical wood slat, sorry. I just noticed the typo. So on the first floor, we have the vertical wood slat, which is 2x2, and that is actually real wood. Yeah, so the manufacturer is called Wison Timber, and they manufacture real wood slates that we can use, apply on the exterior of the house.
So it's a 2-inch vertical wood slat.
Yeah, it's 2x2.
On your rendering on the second floor, there is some horizontal seamed material on.
That's the James Hardy V-groove siding, is to match the color of the slate.
Okay, so you have the siding in 2 colors?
It's going to be one color. So the horizontal siding is going to match the color of the vertical slate.
Okay, no further questions.
I do have a question. Now, you have a pivot door,
Yes.
and you can give me your reasoning behind selecting the pivot door for this project and the size of it?
Yeah. So the owner initially they want a double door, so they have a bigger opening to move in furnitures. But in the design of a transitional modern house, I don't think a double door will be consistent with the design. So I proposed to them to use a wider pivot door instead, which goes well with the modern design. It is a modern design element. So the size of it is 5 feet wide total.
5 feet by what?
5 feet wide by 8 feet tall. Yeah.
All right, and you've worked with pivot doors and on
Yeah.
projects successfully?
Yeah, multiple times.
Okay. All right. I happened to be in a house a few weeks ago with the pivot door, And I didn't think it was the best style of door unless you have like a security gate or something, some type of security system, a gated community. Because when you open it, for you to see, the other side is open.
Yeah.
And if someone wanted to force their way in, all they have to do is to put pressure on the other side, and they can go into one side or the other. I read that there's also issues with weather stripping on the pivot doors, because you can't, it doesn't have that frame that normal doors do. And they're also vulnerable to warping. And if they're not installed exactly right, then you have issues with the door as well. So,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it depends on the craftsmanship of the contractor. As many of the modern houses, they don't have a lot of details like the traditional house to cover up things that is not aligned, or to cover up the door frame. So I would say it really depends on the craftsmanship of the contractor, and also the use of material. But regarding the lock for the pivot door, there are several types. I've designed with a type that is done with a magnet. So when they lock the door, they actually have a magnet that holds the door together, so people can't push it
But
open.
when you open the door, if you open the door 6 inches on one side,
Yeah.
it opens up 6 inches on the other side.
No, it's not even pivoting.
But it does open up on the
Yeah,
other side.
Yeah, open up on the other side.
If you open it up on one side, the owner unlocks the door from the inside to greet someone at the door.
Yeah.
The other side of the door will open. And that's what it's showing here.
Yeah, I mean, but it's basically right and left, right? You're talking about the right side opens, and then the left side will be pivoting inward.
And there'll be a
Forward.
gap. There'll be a gap.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think the city architect, do you have any questions or comments?
No, I think you brought up some vital points, obviously, about making sure that it's crafted correctly, because, we don't want construction defects there. You had mentioned, though, I do have a question. I'm seeing it now, but I just want to confirm that you had mentioned that the owner wanted a larger door to get furniture in, which I fully understand. Does that mean then the pivot is off-centered? It's not right in the center of the door, right?
It's not.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
If
then
you
it
go-
allows what, like 3.5, 4 feet?
3.5 or almost 4 feet.
For their opening?
Yeah, so if you look on the floor plan on the first floor, you will see the door swing, which
Yeah.
we have a bigger one and a smaller one
Got
that
it.
shows where the pivot point is for the door.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, I do have one more question. As we speaking of the door, I noticed that there is a canopy around the building, and it's 5 feet cantilever.
Yeah.
It appears to be like a metal material, but it was not articulated on the section. So I was wondering how this is, how the detail works here.
So I provided a detail for that on sheet A 5.0. It's a metal awning as part of the modern design element that we provided for this house. It's basically just an overhang, providing some shading or weather protection around the first floor, especially for the front door.
So it's a metal awning
Yes.
attached to studs.
That's correct.
So how is the drainage being dealt with?
There is going to be a slope towards the front of the awning, and we can have the water going downward.
So the entire awning is prefabricated?
You know, you can get it prefabricated if it comes in the right size, as I caught on the plan. But it can also be custom built by metal subcontractors if needed.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that's all of our questions for you.
Okay.
It is now 8:10, and the time for public comment on this item is now. Do we have any public comment on this?
No public comment at this time, Madam Chair.
Thank you. It is now 8:10, and public comment on this item is now closed. So it's now our turn as a commission to deliberate and discuss this item. I'll start with Commissioner Tu.
Well, I think we generally appreciate the design, and I'm ready to approve the project. Thank you.
Commissioner Tsang.
Thank you, Chair. I think all the details are consistent, and it's a well-designed set of plan, and the building at the end is going to be very attractive, so I can approve it.
Commissioner Lopez.
Thank you. I think it's a nice project. It looks really nice. I just want to make sure that the frame or metal structures holding the glass are in fact painted black. In your rendering here on page A6.0, they look stainless steel. As our fellow Commissioner Su noted, that it would look kind of weird if they remain stainless steel. That's what it looks like, but I just want to make sure that it does in fact get painted black.
Yes, and if you look at the rendering, it shows us black.
I agree, but on page 6, it shows.
Yeah, the material, just get the stock picture from the manufacturer. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vice Chair Sela.
Yeah, I have nothing more to add, so I'm ready to move forward.
Okay. I'm going to ask my architect colleagues here about if there's a concern regarding the pivot door before we look to move this project forward.
No, I don't see an issue with it, and especially if you have experience, so you can make sure that the contractors building it do it correctly. It is under an overhang, so that's nice. So it is somewhat weather protected, and I think that's important. So at this point, no, we don't have any issue with it.
Great, thank you very much. And this time, if someone would like to entertain a motion.
I'll give it a try. I'd like to move to approve planning case number SPR 23-012, site plan review at 1105 Walnut Street, all in accordance with city's recommendation and condition of approval.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Yeah, I second the motion.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Tsang,
Yes.
Commissioner Tu,
Yes.
Chair Romo,
Yes.
Vice Chair Selo,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes.
5 ayes, motion passes.
yeah, I need to stretch. Yeah, well, fortunately.
It's actually 8:18, and I think we're ready to continue our meeting. So we have our next item, which is 143 Alabama Street, planning case number SPR 22-098, site plan review, applicant Pengyuan Chen. Marlon?
Thank you, Chair. The second item before you tonight, or excuse me, the third item before you tonight is a public hearing item for a site plan review to allow for the construction of a new two-story single-family home located at 143 Alabama Street, planning case number SPR 22-098. The property measures 6,000 square feet and is currently developed with a 1,588 square foot single-story single-family home. The property is located on the west side of Alabama Street between East Hermosa Drive and East Las Tunas Drive. The project site is zoned R1CC, or Single Family Residence Country Club, and has single-family homes directly to the north, south, west, and east. The R1CC zone was established by ordinance number 487, included as attachment B to your staff reports, in 1998 to protect large lots surrounding the San Gabriel Country Club from being subdivided into smaller parcels in order to preserve the unique character and inherent in the neighborhood. Prior to the zone change, the country club and surrounding residential properties were zoned R1. The adoption of the R1CC zone established a new minimum lot width and site area of 100 feet and 14,520 square feet respectively. The ordinance did not establish any additional development standards, so for the purposes of this proposal, the project was reviewed for conformance with the development standards within the R1 zone. The project before you tonight is for a new two-story single-family home and a 481 square foot attached garage. The single-family home will measure a total of 2,068 square feet with a 1,225 square foot ground floor and 843 square foot second floor. The proposed home is consistent with the development standards set forth in the municipal code for the R1 zone, including building height, second-story setbacks, lot coverage, and floor area ratio. The architectural design of the home was reviewed by city staff and the city architect for consistency with the design guidelines for single-family residences. The proposed home is designed in a contemporary style with elements of a minimal traditional home. The home will feature white La Habra stucco and a smooth finish, contrasting bronze windows, a Tesla solar roof, and stone veneer. The project proposes to install new landscaping on the project site. The front yard will include a new lawn and a new garden featuring a variety of shrubs, including coast rosemary, blue fescue, lavender, and dwarf olive bushes, as well as new fruitless olive trees and a chase tree. The applicant also proposes to plant 33 15-gallon fern pine trees along the shared property lines on the north and south sides of the property and along the rear yard property line as well. The rear yard will also feature a new lawn and garden with additional ground cover materials, shrubs, a gray smoke tree, and a second fruitless olive tree to replace a Chinese elm tree that will be removed. Section 153.353 of the San Gabriel Municipal Code requires the submittal of a neighborhood analysis of homes within a 300-foot radius around the project site. The analysis shall identify homes in the neighborhood, shall identify two-story homes in the neighborhood. The neighborhood analysis identifies a total of 14 properties with two-story single-family residences within a 300-foot radius. The project was also reviewed for consistency with the general plan. The general plan land use designation for the subject property is low-density residential. The general plan defines this designation as primarily single-family homes on a single parcel. The proposed project is for the construction of a new two-story home and is consistent with the general plan land use designation. The project also meets community design goal 10.3 to create designs that live and breathe with San Gabriel's neighborhoods as they themselves live and breathe. The project was reviewed for compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act and was determined to be exempt per guidelines section 15303, class 3 for new construction. On July 11th, 2024, a notice regarding the project was sent to the properties within a 300-foot radius of the project site. A notice was also posted on the project site. Tonight's meeting agenda was posted at City Hall, the post office, and the public library, as well as being advertised in the July 11th, 2024 edition of the San Gabriel Sun. With that, staff recommends that the Design Review Commission adopt a resolution of the City of San Gabriel approving planning case number SPR 22-098 for a new two-story single-family residence at 143 Alabama Street, subject to the recommended conditions of approval. That concludes staff's presentation.
Thank you very much, Marlon. At this time, we'll see if the commissioners have any questions for staff. Commissioner 2?
Oh, no, I don't have a question for staff. Thank you.
Commissioner Tsang?
No question.
Commissioner Lopez?
No questions, thank you.
Vice Chair Salo?
Yeah, I do have one question. Can you help me understand the CC, single-family residence zone? Because I heard you say 100-foot lot width and 14,000 square foot area, but this lot appears to be pretty standard.
Yeah, so when that was adopted in 1998, it established minimum lot width and minimum lot size requirements. I'm not sure if you can see it a little bit in the zoning map there. There are some larger lots within this zone. The ordinance was adopted to prevent from those larger lots from being subdivided. Existing lots were not necessarily determined to be unbuildable lots, they can be developed subject to the R1 development standards, as the R1CC zone did not establish any further development standards beyond the minimum lot site or lot width. So that really only applies to new lots, those minimum dimensions.
Okay. And I think before you finish, could you just leave it on maybe the site plan or front elevation?
So there's the site plan.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
No questions. Is the applicant here?
He is, yes.
Yes. Come up, please.
Thanks, Marlon's presentation. Yeah, this is Perry, and I'm the architect for this project located at 143 Alabama Street, San Gabriel. And my client, Mr. Lam, has lived in this location more than 12 years, and he has 2 school-age kids, and after they growing up, so they need more livable area. So we propose to build a 2-story single-family house for this location. And also, my client really concerned the neighborhood, and they want to innovate the streetscape. So we provide a nice front yard landscape to make it nicer. And yeah, we work close with the city architect. Yeah, we really appreciate Ron give us a lot of valuable comments to make the design better. So yeah, feel free to ask me if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Tu?
Yes, I have a couple questions. So from the material board, it seems like you're proposing 2 different types of stone veneer. And
yeah,
I noticed on the drawing, it's only one.
Yeah, actually for this one, we proposed the stone veneer for this picture is 10 color. And for this project, for this picture, only spec the seal stone. So the seals under the windows, only this piece, the seal stone.
So you mean the seal stone, the cover piece?
Yeah, is yeah for this.
But
this
the
picture.
veneer is actually the upper image.
Yes, you are right.
Oh, okay, but your rendering looks like it's pretty close to the lower image. Okay.
Lower image. Yeah, because of the light color, so maybe it looks. Yeah, it's really hard to say.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
So
but we-
is this seal stone detail carried through to the back of the garage?
Yes, around the house.
So what is the dimension of it? It looks like pretty wide.
4 by 6.
So it's 4 inches deep.
Yeah, because the stone, so for the stone veneer, the stick will be like a 2-inch. So, so it means for this seal stone, we will have like 4-inch overhang, a little bit overhang.
Okay, so the depth is 6 inches.
Yeah, 6.
So 4 inches overhand over the stone
Yeah, the
veneer.
stone. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so the garage only has the seal stone, but it
Yep.
didn't have the veneer
No
at the
stone
bottom.
veneer. Yeah.
So what's the reason for that?
My client want to save the money, so he want to make the front looks nice, but yeah, the back, yes, he want to save money.
To me, it looks a little odd. You just have the seal stone out of nowhere, and then it particularly is like 6 inches overhead from the surface of from your wall, right? So yeah, that's a detail that I'm questioning. And also, your project presented with all Tesla solar tile.
Yeah,
So is the entire roof
Yes, you're
using the
right.
same tile, but
Yes.
that is like 45 inches wide.
45-inch, yeah.
So that your drawing doesn't show that. Your drawing was showing like a regular concrete tile. I was just curious because the Tesla tile would change the look of your building because of the size and the materiality of it.
Yeah, the Tesla roofing will looks more horizontal, yeah.
Yes, it's
So-
pretty big. It's 45 inches wide and 15 inches. So your rendering or your drawing doesn't represent that the actual scale of the roof tile.
Yeah, I can.
So it would
update
change,
later.
it would have impact to the look of the building. That's what I meant because it is look like more like a, I mean, if you look from a distance, it look more like a metal roof instead of like a concrete tile as you represent it in the rendering.
We can update the rendering. And actually for this design, we try to create more the horizontal element. So for example, the seal stone and the horizontal roofing and also the guardrail. Yeah, so we try to, and the stone veneer, we try to create more the horizontal element. So yeah, we can update the rendering after the meeting.
Okay, yeah, I don't have problem with the horizontal element. Just would like to see like a true representation of the material you selected for the design.
Sure.
So is the shutter in gray color as
Yeah,
you show?
dark gray, yeah.
Okay, okay, I don't have other questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Those are good points. Commissioner Chang?
I just want to understand when you specify a Tesla roof tile, do you mean the entire roofing tile is Tesla, the solar piece?
Yes.
Have you talked to them?
Yeah, we contact the Tesla, and they refer us to contact the certified installer. And my client has the friend, and yeah, they have the Tesla roofing, right? So my client just want to.
Okay, so you don't see any solar panel? It's
No solar
the
panel.
entire roof tile.
Right.
Each piece act as a small solar panel.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Except the roof face to the north, that one is no solar. But if the roof face to the south, east, and west, yeah, it's solid.
So how do they two blend together? 'Cause
Yeah,
I know
they provide the product like that.
they provide
Yes.
the other piece that are
Yes, you're
facing
right.
north. It's the same
Yeah.
colors, because I think the Tesla roof looks more like a glass. You see the reflection when you drive by.
Yeah, actually, I saw some actual product. It
Yeah.
looks like plastic, but with some reflected.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, actually it looks nice. Yeah, because my client really concerned the aesthetic and the sustainability. So he want to balance them. So we choose this product.
Okay. So if they make the same material,
Yes.
some are west facing and
Yes.
east facing, I understand, but the north facing one, if they blend together as one piece, that'll be fine.
Yeah, because Tesla provide this kind of product. Yeah.
See.
And I'm the owners. I just want to point it out, five houses away from my property, they have the same Tesla single Tesla roof installed. So the entire product looks the same. Some of the singles are active, meaning absorbing solar. Some are inactive. That's the only difference. But
I
the
see.
product
So-
itself, they are exactly the same.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure that it doesn't look like two separate
Absolutely.
materials.
No, they are the
no.
same material.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Other than that, I don't have any other question. I just want to follow up on that, as they're not that cheap. They expensive, the Tesla panels. And it will probably look better if your siltstone on the window sill can carry on to the backside also. That's my only comment. I just want to maybe let Commissioner to expand on that, but I'd like to hear the rest of it.
Right, so regarding the garage in the back that we don't have a stone installed, the only reason is we have 2 kids and they play a lot of sport. So I think it's just easier for me to maintain without the stone on the side. But that's only my personal opinion, but I would defer to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Commissioner Lopez?
I think they've been addressed.
Vice Chair Sela?
Just a minor comment about the siltstone on the garage. I just want to be clear, on the garage side, it's all white stucco, but you have that siltstone horizontal band coming to the bottom of the window, right?
Yeah.
I think you said earlier that it extends 6 inches away from the wall.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, if the wall's like this, you got a piece of stone sticking out like that, and it casts a shadow, it's kind of, you know, you need to support it, otherwise it's kind of just a heavy piece of stone that's kind of dangling there. So I think the way you've kind of rendered it, it looks more like a 2x2 piece of stone.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can find the product to make it consistent, but I
Right.
just want to be sure that I'm understanding what you're proposing correctly.
Yeah, so maybe for the veneer part, we can provide the 4x6 seal stone, but for the other part, maybe we just, maybe 2x2, just make it continue. Or, yeah.
Because extending 6 inches from the face of the wall, that's going to eat into your side yard as well, where space is going to be a little bit tight. It's probably 5 feet on the side yard. It's going to extend 6 inches into it. Yeah, other than that, I think it's a nice design.
Thank you.
You may want to consider maybe cutting that piece into half the size, because with kids playing in there, that 6 inches that
Right.
sticks out could be a potential dangerous situation.
Okay, yeah, I will reduce the size. Yeah, you're right. Thank you.
Julia, do you have any other comments?
No, I don't. I would just say it is a nice design. I appreciate that you, although you're not using the stone all the way around the entire home, that you have wrapped it and terminated it at a corner, so that looks good. So from the front, you can't tell that it, at the rear, it doesn't have it, which is fine. I totally understand that. And I would also just re-mention, because it's prudent that I do that, you know, we've had experience with Tesla roofs that it's hard to get. So just make sure that if for some reason you guys choose not to go with the Tesla roof because you couldn't get it, that you make sure that you come back for review, and that the material that you do choose, if you end up having to go with a different material than Tesla roofs, that it gets reviewed and is consistent.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, because I think we reviewed a project that had proposed a Tesla roof, and they actually had a backup roof material just in case they weren't able to actually get the material.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so just want to add on, I have already started process to submit it, the blueprint to Tesla. I'm not confident, but I'm trying. So
Yeah, no.
I have it get going, so hopefully by the time that everything's in place, then that's when I put in my deposit, because the deposit is non-refundable. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I do think it's a clean, well-balanced project. Some of the elements that I appreciate seeing is that your roof extends out, so it provides shade to the house, and the back second-story window has an awning cover on it. So when you look at being more environmental friendly, you have a place of the house where it's going to get hot, and you're thinking ahead. You're putting awnings on it. I put all kinds of awnings on my house. My house is a very old house, but we put awnings to match the style because of the heat of the sun. And by doing things like this, it really changes what you spend on heating and air conditioning when we have hot summer days like this. So I want to thank you. This project, you can see that there's love in it. You know, you can see that you guys care. And even your renderings, you have kids in your renderings. A Tesla in the driveway. You know, it's a reflection of you. And I think the first project, if they would have put the care that you put in this for the first project, it would have been a really easy sell, and it would have been approved. But I think there are things that we can definitely work with and try to get this approved, so you have a new house that will be good for your family. So at this time, it is now 8:41. Any public comments? We can open the public comment time.
There was public comment, Madam Chair.
Okay. It is now 8:41, and the time for public.
Madam Chair, there's a public comment.
Oh, there is one?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So the public comment comes from Cheyenne. She is a resident on Alabama Street. She would like to voice that she does not support the project. Her comment is, I do not support the proposal of a two-story residence on my street, as the project would be under construction for an extended period of time, and as a resident across the street, noise and dust would be an issue. That's the end of the comment.
Thank you.
Was there a last name and an address?
No last name or address provided.
Okay. And just to clarify with staff, there are dust and noise mitigation, is that correct, with any type of construction?
That's correct. There's conditions for dust control as well as the city's noise ordinance and construction hours of, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. No construction on Sundays.
So I think since it's very difficult for you to talk to this one neighbor, that you can at least talk to maybe a few neighbors around you and let them know that there will be some mitigation going on and information regarding the hours.
Yeah, I think I approached most of the neighbor that I know, and so far I don't have any feedback, so I don't know this particular.
Yeah, and we don't know who this neighbor is, but there is safety
Understood.
and mitigation, so there's not going to be an over amount of dust.
Right.
When you disturb the dirt, there will be wetness and there'll be different things, so
I
it's
understand.
not just a lot of dust and air going on. So do we have any other comments, Dominic?
No other public comment.
Okay. So it is now 8:43, and the time for public comment is now closed. Now it's our turn to deliberate and discuss this item. Commissioner Tu?
Yes, I think I'm ready to approve the project. Thank you.
Commissioner Tsang?
I concur with the exception that the architect should seriously consider reducing that 6-inch sill overhanging under the window sill. So I would approve it with them understanding that to reduce the size and reduce it to the point is at least structurally safe and also for the children.
And that would be to be reviewed with the city architect before it's finalized.
That's fine. I think, yeah, they just want them to make sure that it's reduced to the point it's safe to put in.
Yes, thank you.
And I can
Commissioner Lopez?
No comment. No comment other than I like the rendering. I like how it looks, and it seems seems like everything kind of checks in. I would have liked to see how the tester roof would have looked in the rendering. Because that's always, you see different roofs, different composites, like, oh God, what happened there? But I like the project, comments, I'm ready to move on.
Vice Chair Sela?
No additional comments, thank you.
And I think probably there's no template for the Tesla roof on the computer that you can cut and paste yet.
That's very
Soon,
possible, yeah.
soon that'll be there. So, do we have a motion?
I'll give it a try. I move to approve planning case number SPR 22-098, site plan review on 143 Alabama Street, with a condition that the designer is to modify the window sill detail and with the city architect so that it will be structurally safe and sound.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Yes, I second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Tsang,
Yes.
Commissioner Tu,
Yes.
Chair Romo,
Yes.
Vice Chair Salo,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez. Yes. 5 ayes, motion passes.
Now move to item 4, comments from the planning manager.
No comments from staff.
Item 5, commissioner comments and conference meeting reports. Each commissioner may address the commission and on and public on matters of general information and/or concern. This is also the time for commissioners to report on conferences or meetings they have attended. Commissioner Tu?
I don't have comments on the event. Thank you.
Commissioner Tsang?
No, I do not have any additional comment today.
Commissioner Lopez?
Nothing to report, nothing to comment on. Thank you.
Vice Chair Salo?
Briefly, I want to mention a memo that came across my desk regarding the use of quartz countertop. So apparently, the County of LA is not doing any more quartz countertops in any project countywide. And I don't think they have sound reasoning why, but there are some health issues that have kind of come up.
Even they're going to abandon all man-made quartz countertop in Canada?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little confused by it as well because, granite countertop produces the same silica dust that they breathe in, but I guess a large number of people are going to the hospital with silicosis. So they've got the dust in their lungs and you can't get it out. And, it shortens their life by about 11 years and then the quality of life is, so, there's a lot of, I've seen people cutting the countertops and, they're wearing like COVID masks, which aren't going to do anything for that. People really have way too much faith in those COVID masks. It's the wrong application for that, so I don't know why the board reacted that way, but they've asked us to take all of our quartz countertops out of all of our projects.
So they're prohibiting the use of quartz, period? Really?
They've asked us to, they haven't banned it, they just asked us to substitute it. So, I mean, countywide, that's billions of dollars of projects, Anything else?
For that update. At our last meeting, there was a discussion about trees and wanting to make sure that applicants don't cut trees or remove them or mutilate them before project is approved. So followed up with Sam and we're going to, she's going to start working on an information program that will be disseminated through the city, potentially electronically, and in the city's newsletter about the importance of trees, what type of trees we want to try to protect in the city. So it's an information campaign. They do have their hands tied with a lot of other things, a lot of balls in the air. So that's something to try to look forward to in the future. But trees are important to the city, and the coastal live oak on this property is stunningly beautiful. It's really nice. The trees that they have in their backyard, they're not, and they could have easily removed those. They're 5-inch trunks. They're not in good health. They don't have a good canopy. There's a lot of deadwood. So keeping trees looking good and healthy is a benefit to everyone, and plants and animals as well. So we want to try to do what we can to make sure our city thrives environmentally in the future, and that involves taking care of our trees. So I want to thank Ron and you, Raymond, for bringing that.
Yeah, I think
discussion.
actually to your comment, I think it goes down to the education to our citizens. So a city letter, or either electronically or by paper. I think it's important for them to understand that all these trees is actually an asset to our city. Even though people think that, well, I just want to cut them all down so I don't have to worry about it. But it takes 20, 30 years to grow one. It takes about 20 minutes to cut one down. So it's not worth it. We really need to think twice before they do that.
And when you look at things such as summer cooling, if you have a nice shade tree, it helps. If you have deciduous trees, they'll protect you in the summer and let in light and warmth in the winter. So trees can definitely be an asset for the home. And you plan to have these trees benefit you, and it saves money. It saves resources for this, for each home, and we're coming to a time where water is limited. Fossil fuels are limited. So we're at a point of time where we don't all have Tesla roofs or solar panels. So we have to think a little smart on how we move forward in the future. So those are ficus trees. And in Pasadena, some of the ficus trees lifted foundations. So, and they go into the roots. The roots go into the sewer systems like crazy. So the type of tree definitely makes a difference. And the ficus trees were planted in the 50s and 60s, thinking, oh, we're going to have beautiful, lush canopies. And in some cities, they lollipop them. In Glendora, they still lollipop them. But they're not a very good street tree. They're very, very thirsty. Their roots are horrible. If anyone has any questions regarding the type of trees, Cal Poly Pomona has an excellent online resource. I generally look up all the trees and read about them on the Cal Poly Pomona website, but it'll tell you about the roots, the leaves, the bark, the fruit, the seed pods, how fast the tree grows, the branch strength. You get all this information, and it's just a few clicks away, and you don't have to have the Latin name for the tree. You can use the vernacular name, which is a good resource that's there for us. And if you want to put their website so people can can look up trees and see what's best as they're planting trees, or find out more information about their type of tree. Because education will definitely help, I think. I appreciate that this body does care about trees, and, we've had several tree discussions, and there's not a separate landscape commission, we're it. So I appreciate your help in trying to maintain our urban forest here, the little that we have. So, if there isn't anything else, I'd like to adjourn this meeting to our next regular meeting on August the 26th, 2024, 6:30 here at City Hall, 425 South Mission Drive, second floor, City Council chambers. Thank you.